Hey, it's me, Wanda B, and you are tuned into He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. It is one of my favorite days of the week. I really do love doing my show, and I've missed not doing it as much in 2023, but you're going to see it a lot more in 2024. You may even see more of me. I'll tell you about that by the end of the show. Guys, I'm doing a recap of 2023. Everything that kind of has happened that I like to just chat about. One thing that's happened here at Intellectual Radio, it is the 15th anniversary of Intellectual Radio. Yes, Intellectual Radio has been around for 15 years, been around feeding your brain. So I'd like to know if your brain has ever been fed at Intellectual Radio. Have you ever been on a show? Have you? Have you ever watched a show? I want to know. If you've been on one, I want to hear about it. If you like a show, hey, in 2024, I want to hear about that too. But we're going to talk about everything that kind of is going on in 2023, celebrating the 15 years of Intellectual Radio. If you want to call in and tell me about your experience, I'd love to hear that. 708-223-8953. And we're going to talk about some things with 2023. If you knew a celebrity that you like, that you would actually stand in line for, I said that you would wait in line for an hour and a half to see. Yesterday, I was at an event that one of our shows here at Intellectual Radio was broadcasting from, and Allen Iverson was the person there. And I was amazed at how many people stood in line. And then as I was ear hustling, listening to people who were standing in line, or as they came in with all their little items, I won't call them items, but all their paraphernalia, memorabilia that they had, that they wanted Allen to sign, and just the pure excitement that I heard one guy say with his friend as they were getting in their car, I never thought I'd actually see dude in person. And he was clutching his stuff, and I felt happy for him. I really did feel happy for him. And I thought, okay, who would that be for me? So who would that be for you that you would stand in line for to wish? I don't know if you want to wish him anything, or just that you be that amazed to see in person that you would wait in line for. I don't know. I do love Oprah and think I'd like to meet Oprah, but I would not stand in line for her. So now I'm thinking, now if she was going to be somewhere and I attended, yes, but I don't like waiting in lines, period, anyway. If I have to wait in line to eat, I won't eat. I don't like waiting. Probably last time I really waited for something a very long time would maybe be a flight, or maybe that I had to take, or Great America when I was like in high school. But what would you wait in line for? Who? Is there a person that to meet that person you would wait in line? I'm still thinking there probably is someone, and someone will mention it and I'll go, oh, okay, that's the person. So I did ask this question on my social media page, and one person said Taylor Swift.
I just wanted to say that you read my Allen Iverson's story.
Did I read your story? So who's talking now is our
Allen
super
Iverson.
producer, the founder of Intellectual Radio. One of the very reasons we've been here for 15 years. He's still producing shows 15 years later. Think about having a job doing the same thing and listening to people talk like this for 15 whole years.
15 years.
So I had to ask you later what that was like.
I just want to know, did you read the story that I wrote about being Allen Iverson?
So share your story very briefly, though. Don't take up my whole show with Allen Iverson, please. So
I want to know if you read it and what you thought about it.
I actually did read it. Should I recap it briefly?
Please.
He said it. If anybody knows the super producer, like I said, if you've been here at Intellectual Radio at any point in time, whether you're being a guest, being a host, or being in any sort of way, like I said, I want to hear 708-223-8953. But if you have, you've probably met the super producer because he produces 80% of the shows here. So I would say, I may even say 90% of the shows here he produces, in Lovely Me, the other. So, he is also a bartender. And so he was bartending one day and he's sitting somewhere. That's not how it went. See, that's why you shouldn't have me tell the story. So we're going to go back to...
I was working media at the United Center.
You were working media. I thought you were a bartender.
I was not bartending. I was working media.
You were working media and you were sitting next to... Why don't you tell the story?
Exactly.
Tell the story.
I was in media.
Okay.
for a short period of time, working for ESPN and a couple other agencies, and we worked at the United Center, the Bulls games, and media, is mostly non-black, and we had a cafeteria, and the cafeteria was just for media and the ball players and the coaches. And when you go in the media room, when you go in the cafeteria, you don't see many people who look like us. So when I walked in and I saw a table, this one table had Allen Iverson and a couple other ball players there.
I want the short version, just so you know.
Right. So I sat there. So I sat there with Allen Iverson. That's pretty much the story. And like I said, I just was kind of intrigued by the fact that he was not much bigger than I was, and he was out here, jumping over these cats that were 7 feet tall. I just thought it was pretty amazing. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so yes, I did read your story, and I did. You posted this on your Facebook page, and I did. That was the first thing I go. He is rather short for what you think basketball players would be. So some of the people, my friend Linda said Taylor Swift, President and Mrs. Obama. Now Barack, woo, I don't know. I could give Barack a good 30 minutes of my time in a line. I think I could. Michelle, yeah, but Barack, I actually do think, but there's going to be a limit. I'm not going to camp out the night before with a sleeping bag. But okay, somebody else said no. My cousin said, unfortunately, I'm not about to stand in line to meet any celebrity. My cousin Tanika said, unless it's beneficial to me. I'm cool on the meet and greets. Uh, Someone else said, my friend Rob, I've already stood in line to meet Stan Lee. Zero regrets. Ooh, okay. Do you guys know who Stan Lee is? He created a lot of the superheroes and a comic book creator. And I mean, he is pretty huge. But how long? I would love to know how long. I know he's not listening right now, but I would love to know how long he stood in line to meet. Because I do think I would do a small amount of time. I may be able to do an hour, but if they were late, I'd probably get out and say forget it. So I don't know, but maybe I would. See, I knew if somebody jarred my thoughts with someone that I felt was worthy, because off the top of my head, I couldn't think. So Creighton said Viola Davis, Maya Angelou, and James Baldwin. Oh, James Baldwin. Wouldn't that be a conversation? He is a good conversationalist. If you ever see like a video of him talking, that there aren't many. Oh, I was about to say something that probably get me in trouble on social media, so I'm not going to say that. But of one of the men that I know is a good conversationalist, he is someone that I've seen very it's one between him and I think it's Nikki Giovanni, and they have like a conversation that you could like sit popcorn and listen to how deep it goes about men and women. So that's one. Mel Brooks, oh, he is hysterical. Now somebody who can make me laugh, I may actually. George Carlin is somebody I love, and David Chappelle. Mel Brooks is another funny one that I know would make me laugh if I just spent some time with them. Just naturally make me laugh. I think I could give another 30 minutes in line for. So maybe it's the length of time would I wait. You wait in line for Jesus? Well, everybody been waiting for him. You that line I know gonna be long. That's what I'm with you. But no, I'm not waiting in line for Jesus. Oh, that sounds horrible. But that's somebody that almost 100% of the people, not 100%, but such a large number of people be waiting in line for, that Jesus would probably say, I'm done before the line gets to the end. Would Jesus actually wait till he got through every person? Or would he say, you know what, I'm on a lunch break, I'll be back, I'm about to go turn some water into wine and come back? I don't know. He knows my heart, but I don't know if I waited that long. Jesus must be the longest line there is. Nah, don't know about that one. But that is he know I'm with him though, but I may just wait till he call me up there and meet him personally. He probably gonna be like, I'm gonna do that tomorrow if you wouldn't wait. I'll wait in line for you. See, he know I'm lying, so let me stop. No. Jesus is a hard one, because that line is just gonna be. No, my parents did take me to see the Pope when he was in Chicago, whoever was the Pope at that time, John Paul something 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know the number, but I think it was him. And I did go see him, but my mother took me, so I don't think that was like A willing thing. No, Rick James. And Rick James, that would be hysterical. No, that's a funny choice. I don't know why I find that kind of funny. You would wait in line for Rick James, so he still has a good following. Okay, no, God. See y'all just waiting for Jesus and God in line. Are you already waiting for him in line? Aren't you? Isn't like being in on Earth kind of like waiting in line for God? I mean, sorta. You're gonna see him probably. I don't know. Is he actually in heaven? I don't know. Y'all making me think of so many different things I hadn't thought of. I'm still waiting for if you want to call in and tell me if you've ever been a guest on IntellectualRadio.com. Ever been a guest, a host, favorite show, anything as recap 2023 and the 15 years of glorious IntellectualRadio.com feeding our brains. 708 223 8953. Okay, so people said waiting in line. God and Jesus, that's huge. That's a line. That's one really long line. And I wonder if you get any extra favor from him if you waited in the line. Well, he's like, you going to heaven for sure because you waited in line for 2 days. That line is gonna go days. Do you know people will camp out for days? Any extra favors for that? Send me a sign, God, if there's extra favor and waiting in line for you. I think I'm waiting already, though. I think my time here on earth is one giant line waiting for God. And that's how I'm going to look at it and think I'm already waiting and I'm doing a good job. Recap 2023, guys. That's what I'm doing right now. Recapping 2023. Love to hear from you. I'm going to go back now and try to read some of what you guys have said about 2023. What's a saying you'd like to leave in 2023? So one of them for me is period. Nah, I don't want to hear 2024. That little term, period. It's cute at first, and then sometimes these little sayings go on and on and on, and then they stop being cute, and then you don't find them funny. Is there another saying that people kind of say all the time that you would kind of leave in 2020 in the past that you don't want to hear anymore? I would love to hear what that is. Do you have one, super producer?
I don't like that no capping, but that's just
No cap.
that's just
And
me.
I
No
don't even know
cap.
what that
I
means.
think it means you're lying or something. I don't know.
No cap.
To me, it just sounds crazy.
And where does it come up? Where do some of these come from? No cap. No cap. What does that mean? I'm with you on that one. No cap. So I don't know what no cap means. And I'm okay with leaving that behind too. Why can't we just say exactly what we mean? Why do we need some of these sayings? The year before that, it was a lot of people saying the thing from Nene Leakes. I said what I said. I'm glad that's kind of gone. I'm glad that people aren't saying I said what I said anymore. That kind of died down. It started 2023. I said what I said, and now people are just saying what they saying. No cap. So I like those. Those two I'm going for. I said what I said. No cap. Period. And the way they say it, I don't even know where some of these come from, but that one could go to. So let's see as we go through my recap of 2023. I'm doing some celebratory things here with Intellectual Radio and our 15 years of being around, and thinking of things that have changed and happened over the years here at Intellectual Radio. So you guys, another thing, we've had some people pass away in 2023, which is always really hard as we recap years. A lot of times, Tina Turner, a legend, and I get an awful lot that I look like Tina Turner. I don't necessarily always see that, but I do get that a lot, and it's very sad to see to hear of Tina Turner's passing. So Tina Turner is one of those gone too soon people. Just recently, Norman Lear, I think, passed away this week, which actually made me go back and read some history on him. Because as people were sad over, he is supposedly the creator of Good Times, The Jeffersons, some of the classic TV shows of Black history that we watch, but it has been said or actually read. Eric Monty, is that his name? What is his name? The guy who said he actually created.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Eric Monte. Yes.
Eric Monty, which he actually changed his name. I forgot what his original name was. Actually grew up in Cabrini Green, and some of the stories of Good Times was actually his story, and he created it, and Norman Lear stole it, for lack of a better word. I'm going to use the word stole. So that is, and once I did not really know that. I didn't know that until he passed, and I was like, oh, Norman Lear, he created some of the TV shows I loved. And when you hear the history, do you think that should tarnish his image some, or would it change what you think about him?
I mean, I'm sure he was still a genius, but he did some things that some shady deals, like most celebrities do.
And most celebrities, billionaires, yeah, he wouldn't be immune to that
scandal,
to that kind of scandal. Yes, but he still greenlit those shows, right? So they're still.
I mean, I think that I'm sure he's done some great things, but like most of us, including maybe Earl Winfrey, you had some things in your past that you done that just wasn't cool. And I think that probably if he had the chance to do it all over again with Eric Monty, I think maybe he would do a little bit differently.
Oh, that would be interesting. That, as you know, time is going. I wish someone had asked him that. He had lived to be over 100 years old. If someone had asked him if he could redo what he did or change history, or maybe just leave him some money, Eric may be like, I don't care what you do, just send me $1 billion and we cool.
We also lost Richard Roundtree Shaft.
We did.
Richard Roundtree.
I'm just finding out. Now my feelings gonna be hurt finding out who passed that I didn't know about.
Sad that we lost Shaft.
We did.
He was one of the first blacks to star in black exploitation movies, and he would definitely, in my opinion, be missed. Richard Roundtree.
Oh, what about Jerry Springer? You got a story about him too. Jerry Springer passed away this year.
Yeah, but I don't think that was a big loss to the black community, in my opinion. I think even as he got older, he felt bad about some of the shows that he actually had on the Jerry Springer show, because he definitely made black folks look like freaking, prehistoric, infidels, in my opinion. And he pretty much, showcased that. He wanted to show. I mean, I wasn't cool with Jerry personally. Just show it to the lesser of us. He capitalized on that, and to me, that just wasn't cool.
You feel he portrayed people in a negative light?
Mostly us, yes.
Okay, so I get that. I still think, I think you'd agree death is not, you don't wish, but you still want people to be.
I'm not saying I wish death on the man. I'm just saying he ain't gonna be no loss, not in my opinion.
Okay, I get that. So, as I'm looking, I do think I'm looking on social media, and I know I have 2 different broadcasts, so hopefully people will look at the second one as well. Looks like the first one is it has it maybe a little bit confused, but if you want to tune in, it's 708, or call in rather, 708-223-8953. I'm talking about 2023 and a recap. Right now, we're kind of talking about the people we've lost in 2023 and what mark they left on the world. If you had to say what mark you'd like left on the world if this year was ending without you, what would that be?
What mark have I left on the world?
What would you like to be talking about?
I think the fact that I made a difference in some lives, that just makes me feel, like my life was definitely not lived in vain. Like Martin Luther King said, Martin Luther King, he said that, when he died, he just wanted people to be able to say about him that he helped somebody. And I want the same thing that Martin Luther King wanted. I want people to be able to say that, Earl helped somebody.
Okay. And I think 15 years of IntellectualRadio.com, there will definitely be about 6 people who've been helped. I'm joking. No. Jokes. We feed your brain here and have had over 400 shows that all have different topics and themes. And I'm sure there are people who've actually it's changed their lives. Hey, it's changed mine. I'm one of the 6. So there's 5 others. I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking. So I'm talking about 2023 and recapping what 2023 has meant to so many of the different shows here at Intellectual Radio, what it's meant to me, and what we expect for 2024. So, Suzanne Summers, did you ever watch Three's Company?
Not a lot.
I and some of these celebrities, I don't know. I kind of followed their career, or you kind of grew up with them, and you kind of, it's not like a super sad, and you're gonna go home and you can't eat and sleep over it, but you do feel a kind of certain way, like, oh man, Suzanne Summers, uh, Paul Rubens. I love Pee Wee Herman.
No, that's someone I liked as well. I like Pee Wee as well. Pee Wee was definitely one of my favorites.
Pee Wee Herman was one of my absolute.
I liked his very, very first show when he had the little show with
Lawrence Fishburne.
And I used to love that show.
What was the name?
Now that was It was Pee Wee's Herman's Playhouse.
Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Right, and that right there was a incredibly artistic show. I loved it.
Okay, I liked Pee Wee's Playhouse too, and I think that's where my love for Pee Wee Herman actually kind of began right there. So I'm a big.
I think it's amazing that out of that show that Lawrence Fishburne became such a mega star. And then if you look at his character in Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, it's just so far different from the person that he actually plays now. It's just pretty much incredible. Like Morgan Freeman, who used to be on Sesame Street. And if you look at some of the characters that he played now, it's just so far away from what he did on Sesame Street. It's just incredible. It just shows their range, in my opinion.
They absolutely and definitely have range. So that one definitely, the people who change the scene of things for the better, like you said, like he was definitely created something that hasn't actually been duplicated as much. I know that you don't know this person, but for me, me and my friends on Tuesdays from my time at the newspaper industry, we watched Dancing with the Stars, and Lynn Goodman was one of the judges on that show, and he passed away, and just last week they gave the Lynn Goodman Mirrorball Trophy, and that was he was somebody we love to see on that show because he was always honest with people, whether they were good or bad. He didn't sugarcoat for their feelings. If he was bad, he took all the booze. And you hate to see people like that go, that you have come to beloved on different TV shows.
I want to say rest in peace to Warsom Robinson, who was a local celebrity here in Chicago. He was a photographer, very, very, very well known around the Chicagoland area. He's one of the top photographers here in Chicago. And I remember, going places where it would just be me and him as the only black people in the room. And that's how I met him. And he just died recently, and that's sad. And he was also a guest here at IntellectualRadio.com maybe less than a year ago. And so he's going to be missed a lot by us here in Chicago. He was an incredible, incredible photographer. Google him, Warsom Robinson, and I'm sure you can see some of his work that's probably still posted online somewhere.
Okay, well, I would have to absolutely. I'm at one of those who not necessarily I'm not familiar with who that is, so I would definitely have to look him up and see more about him. So 2023, what we talked about, what sayings you like to see go. We no cap, we mentioned period. Why I love it. I don't know why I say it like that. I don't love the statement, but I say it like that. What's the best movies you've seen? Any really good movies you saw in 2023 that you think will be Oscar nominated movies? And I know I forget about something. I'll see something good, but I know I like the movie with Jonathan Majors. I know that was a really good movie. I'm gonna have to pull up Google here to get the name of it. The one with Jamie Foxx. I thought that was a good movie. Maybe worthy of some. Then I just saw something with Jamie Foxx on Hulu, or was it on Prime? These streaming services, I get confused. I'm going to look it up. A very good movie. What's the best movie you saw in 2023 you think someone should walk away with an Oscar for? I want to hear. What movie do you think someone should walk away with an Oscar nomination. Now, I don't go to the movies to see that many movies, so but these TV shows I thought were definitely. I'm gonna try to look up the one for Jamie Foxx that I just recently saw. Oh, it was based on a character. It was based on a real life person. The what was the name of it? Super producer. What was it? The Burial. I thought that was really good. Have you seen that?
The Burial was, in my opinion, one of the best films ever made. In my opinion,
Ever made?
But what I like about the film was the fact that you very seldom see black folks doing great things like that. You know, you see them as basketball players, athletes, and you see them as, you see them as song rappers, and but you never see them actually doing like professional jobs, and being successful. And The Burial was the first film that I can think of where you saw somebody who wasn't an athlete or entertainer who actually had a job and was extremely successful, extremely successful. It shows that there's more ways to get that money. There are more ways.
I do think there's other films. What is that one with the Happy Man with Will Smith?
What movie is that? When he had the
Gardner,
child.
Chris Gardner, and
No, that was a good one. That was a good one. I have to give you that.
Chris Gardner. And that's a shame that I can only come up with two. So it's funny how people go, oh no, there was another one, but we really, in all the scheme of all the movies made, if you can really only come up with two that show someone professional that isn't in sports,
right?
That became very successful and ends on a happy note with them ending in success.
That isn't an entertainer.
That isn't a singer, dancer, entertainer, or sports. There are very few, but maybe help me, because if there may be some that I can't think of. The only two I can think of is this movie, The Burial, that I thought Jamie Foxx, who had a very trying year. This has been a difficult year for him. He had a giant health scare. He said he had to learn how to walk again.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I like Jamie better than Denzel. Jamie, he's just an incredible actor. Like when he played Ray Charles, I mean, he was Ray. He was Ray. And Denzel in every movie, Denzel is Denzel. That's just my opinion.
I think I agree with you. I had never really thought about that till I saw The Burial. And then when I just talked about that other movie with Jonathan Majors, where he played a pimp, but here he played an attorney, that like you said, Denzel really sounds like Denzel. He looks like Denzel. He does it. His range still keeps him in the same kind of person, where Jamie can play someone blind and you really think he's blind. He actually can sing on top of all of that. And he, from playing in the same year a pimp and an attorney, and I guess maybe you could say they may have had some similarities, but at the same time, very believable in his range. I really like Jamie Foxx as well. And I think hopefully he's up for a nomination. I think this movie, if it could be put on for a Oscar or Academy Award, that he gets one, because I think he deserves it. So any good movies you saw in 2023, you guys let me know that you think are a wrap up of one of the best movies you saw. Was there a hit song of the year? I can't think of one song. Usually some years I know, like, cause I'm happy. There's been a song that, like, oh my gosh, you wish they stopped playing, that they played the entire year. I can't actually think of one, but I also don't listen to the radio. I listen to talk radio. I'm either listening to IntellectualRadio.com myself. So I'm actually not the one to ask, because I don't really listen to the radio that much. But I would love to hear if you know of a song that you say wrapped up 2023 for you, that it was a song that you listened to nonstop. I'd like to hear about that, if there was a song for you. Okay, so another thing, best play. I haven't gone to see a play this year, so I can't say, but I'm hearing that people are loving. Oh, let me mention The Color Purple. I'm not a fan of remakes whatsoever. And I said I wasn't going to see The Color Purple again because I know how it ended. I love the first one. I can't see how but I'm hearing rave reviews about The Color Purple, the musical version. So now it's kind of piqued my interest that maybe, just maybe, I'll watch it when it comes on Netflix. I'm not going to the movies to see it, but I will. I actually now kind of have some interest just based on my friends that I think have good taste said that they would watch it. So best movie scene so far, I'm going to agree with you that The Burial was one, and I also liked as a second Jamie Foxx's other movie. What was the name of it? I looked it up and then I stopped short because I started talking about The Burial. The one with Jonathan Majors where they drove the old cars and Jamie was the
They cloned Tyrone.
they cloned Tyrone. Another one that I thought, oh, that made me think. So those two,
That movie, They Cloned Tyrone, is going to end up being my top 10 in history, in my opinion. Just my personal top 10.
they cloned Tyrone.
Yes.
What about The
exactly.
Burial? You said it was one of the
That's
best.
going to be in my top 5.
Wow. Okay. I want to hear your list. We're not going to talk about this on now, but I would put your list together so I can hear about it later. Okay, guys. So, what happened for you in 2023? Was there anything that you could say was like, wow, that made it a remarkable year? For me, it's been a whirlwind of changes. So I'm not gonna be able to narrow it down to one certain thing for sure. But I've done something I said I'd never do again. I've done twice now. The time I did it the first time, I said I'm never doing this again. That will be the first and last time. And now I've done it not that one time, but I'm on time number 3. So I'm crazy. And now I have now I know though that I will not say something I never do again because probably that's the thing I wind up doing again. So where I'm going over 2023, I'm recapping 2023, the people we've lost, the sayings we like to leave in 2023, what's happened to you in 2023. So the people like I said we hate to see go, the best songs of 2023, and our anniversary of 15 years here at Intellectual Radio. Another great thing that wraps up 2023 for me. I have some great things coming for the new year. We still have great shows and great programming coming here to Intellectual Radio. If you like this hat, you can also call 708-223-8953 and find out how to get your own. You know what? I think it'd be a great gift for someone who's actually had a show here, has a show, had a show, was a guest, big fan of Intellectual Radio. I wonder would somebody wait in line like to come to Intellectual Radio one day. I don't know. But if you'd like to get a hat, let us know. They're for sale. 708-223-8953. A great inexpensive stocking stuffer for the Intellectual Radio fan. So one thing that does always happen at Intellectual Radio as I talk about the new year and I wrap up my recap, are new shows that come to Intellectual Radio. If it tends to be a New Year's resolution or like a hobby or something people said I'd always want to do. And if that's something you would love to do, you can also call me at that same number. Yep, it won't change. 708-223-8953 if you'd like to have your own show and don't want to do it at home. So one video that I saw, and I'm not going to name names, but one video I saw over the year that made me really realize how important IntellectualRadio.com is for people and people like me who don't want to do this from home. Well, someone was doing a podcast from home. They're doing their podcast, they're talking and talking. And as they're talking, their dog starts barking in the background. And you're trying to get this powerful message, and the dog is like barking and barking and barking. And I went, that is such a good advertisement. And one reason why I come to Intellectual Radio to do my show is because I was like, that would happen to me, that kids would be screaming, crying, doorbell would ring. Anything that could happen at Intellectual Radio would happen at Intellectual Radio and would totally screw up my show. So I come here to do my show, IntellectualRadio.com. So I've been recapping 2023. You are just smiling. You can't smile. If it ain't about my show, you can't smile over there. It better be about my show. Y'all, I'm here at Intellectual Radio, recapping all the fun things that's happened in 2023 for Intellectual Radio. And I would love to hear about yours. So, you know what? This show will be on Facebook. I want you to still comment here and let me know your recap, who you stand in line for, which celebrity moves you enough to wait in line for. the people that put Jesus and God really have me recapping that in my head. So that's been kind of interesting to think about. But I wanted to be I'll be here next year. I'm looking forward to year 16 at intellectualradio.com. I'm looking forward to all the great things.
Can I say one thing? There was also a question of the year. There was a question of the year of
What was the
2023.
question
The
of the year?
question of the year was, would you rather have several $1 million or have dinner with Jay-Z? That was like the question of the year. And everybody was asking their question, would you prefer to have dinner with Jay-Z or have all that money? And for me, of course, I'm going to take the money.
I really do like me some Hova. But I'm
But
gonna
is there anyone that you would
no.
turn down, let's say $10 million for to have dinner with?
No, not at all. Not one person.
Anyone on the planet?
Not on the planet, living or past. I would take the money. And I'm sorry, but dinner? Are you gonna come live with me? So I could have that money for the rest of my life and change lives for my family and children. And yeah, now some people say that if they had dinner with him, he could give them tips and tricks on how to make money, and they could turn that into money. Yeah, no. I will read. He probably still will give me those tips and tricks when he'll put it in a book. So I'm gonna go read the book. I'm going to find other ways to do it, but I'm not going to sit down and have dinner with you. That I'm sure that's fun, but I will take the money. I'll take one lump sum. I'll pay my taxes, and I'll read your book on how to make money with you and follow your career. And I will give you some of the money by paying for your CD. But no, I will not be breaking bread with you for the money. Show me the money. So that is one of the questions that were going around in 2023. 2023 has brought a lot. 2024 will bring more of the same. I got a big announcement coming for January 5th. I'm going to wait and announce it because people will forget by then.
No, I think you should announce it right now. I really do. I think you should announce it. I really do. You can announce it more than once.
Okay. So January 5th, I want you to tune into I don't want to. So he did. Okay, I will. January 5th. I don't know if you listened to the David Seaton show or have you watched any shows. In fact, I'll pull them out.
Also, remember David Seaton and Tiba, they had a show here.
Wait, I'm talking about him being on my show. Thank you very much.
Okay.
David Seaton has been a guest on He Said, She Said with Wanda B. He has been a guest multiple times as we talk. He has been the he here on my show, IntellectualRadio.com. He said, she said, talking for the he's and answering some questions. And he also had another show here at Intellectual Radio. He had Humanity in the Headlines. In my top 5 of shows at Intellectual Radio, I learned so much. I still tune into them, and those guys have branched off and went over to WVON, and now Atiba has a show with Darlene Hill on the show, and then the David Seaton show is now Fridays. It is 3 to 6 p.m. on Fridays, and coming the first Friday of the month, I will be on with David talking about relationships, and that's coming up. I'm excited. I'm excited for the opportunity. Like I said, they are my favorites, Atiba as well as David Seaton, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'll be posting more about that opportunity and what that has and how you guys can tune into that. But I want you to stay with intellectualradio.com. Again, a happy 15th anniversary to all the hosts and everyone, all the shows in Earl Winfrey that make up what intellectualradio.com is. It wouldn't be without the shows, the hosts. It wouldn't be without.
Can I just make one comment before you end your show? Just one.
Yes.
I know it's like every time I get on the mic, it's like you want to cut me off. You're like,
and there's another show coming up.
It's gonna be cut.
We got
so you gotta say it ain't gonna be about you.
Quintessential Queens.
I just
coming
gotta just say one thing.
Hurry up, because my time is running out.
Is that we have to give Wanda B credit too for this 15 years because she has done some great things here at IntellectualRadio.com, and we would not be where we are today if it was not for Wanda B. And I just wanted to just say thank you for all you do for all of us here, including myself at IntellectualRadio.com.
Oh, how sweet. I received that. Thank you, guys. Tune in 2024, okay? I want to see you with me into the new year. Have a go out with a bang with 2023. I appreciate you guys so much. You really do make my day. You're the reason I smile so many times. I appreciate you guys. Keep tuning in to He Said, She Said, and anything that I do. I really appreciate you guys. You've been listening to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com.